Are you an older person struggling perhaps with a disability or something? Well, the Trump administration has a simple message for you. Trump couldn't care less. Are you just a middle-class worker who is deeply invested in their job and would also be dramatically screwed over by a recession? Trump's message? I couldn't care less. Because although a lot of people voted for Trump believing that he would somehow fix the economy and benefit the middle class, the complete and total opposite has been happening. Because Trump just dropped a bombshell on every single American. How's it going? My name is Hunter Avalone with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. And don't forget to click that like button if you also agree that Donald Trump is not making America great again, he's making America hate again. That's right, because Trump has not only been sowing more and more division and hatred amongst Americans, but Trump is also making more and more people hate America. For example, because of Donald Trump and Elon Musk's insane government cuts, an agency for older adults and people with disabilities is to be closed down. These are programs that are truly life-saving and critical. Allison Barkoff, who headed the ACL from 2001 to 2024, told MarketWatch dozens of millions of older adults and people with disabilities may not know the name ACL, but they know senior centers and Meals on Wheels and programs that touch their lives every day.
Without Meals on Wheels, a lot of people would go hungry, honestly. There are a lot of people that can't physically cook anymore. They can't afford meals anymore. They really just need that assistance. For a lot of our clients, it's the one good meal they get each day, and they normally stretch it out into 2 meals.
So let's just get this straight. A mega multi-billionaire, Elon Musk, is cutting down a bunch of vital government services, now negatively impacting poor people from getting a basic frickin' meal. But it's not only older people or people with disabilities that should be worried. Every single American honestly should be concerned, especially now. Goldman Sachs raised the recession risk to 35%.
In a sobering update, Goldman Sachs has nearly doubled the probability of a US recession within the next 12 months to 35%, citing growing trade tensions and declining consumer confidence. The warning comes ahead of the Trump administration's upcoming Liberation Day on Tuesday, when a major tariff announcement is expected, one that could escalate the global trade war and prompt retaliatory measures.
Now, all of Trump's nonsense has culminated to Trump dropping an absolute bombshell on Americans everywhere, the moment you've all been waiting for. When confronted about his recent tariffs on cars, Trump said he, quote, couldn't care less if foreign automakers raise prices over the tariffs.
New 25% tariffs on most foreign-made vehicles and parts are expected to drive up prices this week. Our new poll finds 64% say President Trump has not focused enough on lowering costs, while 55% of the public believes the president has focused too much on tariffs, which they think could raise prices. In a phone call with NBC News, President Trump said his tariffs are absolutely permanent and said he couldn't care less if foreign automakers raise their prices in response.
Okay, so Trump couldn't care less that the middle class, the average American consumer, will most certainly suffer as a result of this?
Americans will pay more. The idea that they hired this president to bring down costs, and you've got the market crashing because they think the tariffs are stupid.
If the taxes are fully passed on to consumers, the average auto price on an imported vehicle could spike by $12,500, which could impact overall inflation, according to the Associated Press. Trump told NBC News, quote, I couldn't care less if they raise prices because people are going to start buying American-made cars. Unfortunately, Donald Trump fails to wrap his little mind around the fact that the auto industry specifically relies on a global economy.
America relies on a global economy for auto imports and auto parts, because the automotive industry operates through complex international supply chains that keep production efficient and costs low. Many car manufacturers source specific parts, like semiconductors, transmissions, or specialized materials, from countries where they're produced more affordably or with higher expertise. Even US assembled cars often contain components from dozens of countries. Imposing a 25% tariff on imported autos and parts, as Trump has proposed, doesn't suddenly shift production back to America. It just makes foreign parts more expensive, which increases production costs for US automakers who rely on those imports. Instead of boosting American manufacturing, the tariff would likely raise car prices for consumers and strain manufacturers who can't easily or cheaply replace global suppliers with domestic ones. In fact, one American car dealer has already expressed concerns regarding Trump's aggressive tariffs.
The policy is confusing some U.S. car dealers, like Steve Mouse in Minnesota.
There is a percentage of foreign parts that's laid out right on the Monroney sticker, percentage of parts that are from Mexico and U.S. and Canada. We don't know if they're going to be subject to tariffs or not.
So long story short, Donald Trump couldn't care less that you, that me, that the average American consumer will be negatively impacted by his insane tariff policies. But once again, I'm not that surprised, because I don't think Donald Trump cares about anybody except himself.